right, guys. This week we're gonna dive into the New York City CCW. We're gonna call this part 2. So the first day, there's 16 hours of class you have to take. So the first day it was basically all classroom stuff. Do a bunch of things. He gave us this booklet. He had slides, all this other stuff like all this other stuff like that, and we talked about a bunch of different things. I'm wearing some of the apparel. Now I enjoyed the class, but the first day we spoke about the fact that how you needed to already have your CCW in your home county. So if you was outside of the 5 boroughs, you was in New Rochelle, upstate New York, you needed to have your CCW there. Then you could get your CCW in New York City. You know, so I thought it was gonna be a slick workaround that you could get your CCW in New York, and then it would cover the whole state of New York. No, you have to have it in. So for me, because I have my CCW in Connecticut in my hometown, then I could get the non-residential one. But if you live in the 5 boroughs, then yeah, you could just go and get it, and then you'd be valid for the whole state of New York. The other thing that was different for me that I found out was that the fact that you can only have 3 colors of firearms in New York City is either black, silver, or gray. And silver and gray is basically the same colors. Yeah, so the other thing was that you can't have more than 1 firearm on you at a time. You can have other things to defend yourself, but only 1 firearm. So the last thing was traveling with your firearm. I think a lot of people were concerned that when you were in your car that the firearm had to be in 3 separate. That's what I kept hearing, and I remember that from back in the days. I think that message got lost in translation, like playing like telephone. Anybody who remembers that game, but basically, if you have a license to conceal carry, you don't have to put your firearm away when you're in the car. It stays on you. Now, if you get to a location that you cannot bring your firearm into, any state or federal buildings, schools, playgrounds, this and the third, you're supposed to lock and secure your firearm. Now, that could just be you putting in a lockbox inside the car. The glove box is off limits. It's not considered securing your firearm, whatever the case may be, in the state of New York. But if you want to, say if you're traveling with your firearm in a state that you don't have a concealed carry in, then you're supposed to put it in 2 separate lock boxes. One lockbox is for your firearm, the second lockbox is for your ammo and your magazines. Just that simple. And I believe that's a federal law that whenever traveling with your firearm, that's what you're supposed to do if you don't have a concealed carry, or if it's not a constitutional carry state. Yeah, so that's basically, those are some of the things I just wanted to, this is some of, I share some screenshots, but this is some of the stuff that was in the book, or whatever the case may be. It was a thick pamphlet, or whatever, but that was basically the summation of what we did in the first day. It was a lot of classroom, taking notes, going through slides, and whatever the case may be. So the second day, we're more so doing things like more so with working with a firearm. So one of the things that New York State wants the instructor to see is you be able to safely handle a firearm. The other thing is to be able to draw it from a holster. So you're required to wear like pants with belt loops and a stiff belt. For a person like myself who already owns firearms and concealed carries, that's like not too hard. So here we're just using a Glock training weapon with a laser on it to learn iron sighting and seeing where your dot and your iron sights go, where you want to put it on the target. And then we got into like holstering and reholstering the weapon, how to safely do so. Now we're getting into like cocking and decocking a firearm safely, how to never put your finger on the trigger, how to firmly grip it, and make sure it's safe and secure. One of the major things we kept talking about in this class is safety. That's the number one cardinal rule when dealing with firearms. Safely pointing a firearm in a safe direction. Always keeping it pointed down range. And some people just really just needed to understand how to cock a firearm, how you keep it close to your person. One hand is pushing downward, the other one's pushing upward, in certain instances like that, and just making sure you cock it 3 times every time you pick up a weapon. Every weapon that you see is loaded, and so it's your job to make sure it's unloaded. Those type of things, and this is like prior to us getting into targeting. Like, you see those things in the background. Those are the targets that we're gonna have to actually test out on. So, but like I said, he was showing how to just decock and remove a magazine, showing all the functionalities of a firearm that we learned on paper the day before. Now we actually get to learn it with a model firearm that's closest to a real firearm. These are the firearms, like I said before, that we're going to use for testing out. They actually carry some whistling rounds in them. This is like paintball rounds, but they fire like a loud whistling, very expensive rounds. I swear those things are like $5 a round. But see me here getting my John Wick on. Trainer even recognizes it. Flicking that magazine out to my slow ass drop it. But safely putting the firearm down before going after the clip. Something he reiterated prior to us getting into this part of the training. Like I said, I love this training. This guy was definitely on his job. I'm gonna make sure I give him a shout out. But here he's getting into the slide release. And this is us. This is like the group before me testing out. This is when I started to get into my test. Like I said before, I've already been at the range. She was telling everybody to take their time, but me, I was like, man, this ain't nothing. This ain't got much recoil to it. Your boy about to put these 5 shots on a target and get up out of here. Let's go. So once she gave me the all clear, I lit this thing up. I could have swore I had pictures of where my targets was, but you should be able to see where I hit it. I really hit like all around that dot right there. And mind you, we just had to get it inside the rectangle, But I did my thing. I got it all right there in a fist, tight grouping, very tight group, But like I said, overall, had a good time. I can't complain. It was a good class. I just wish, once again, that I did my paperwork. I'd have left here with my paperwork, went and submitted everything, and started my training. You see? And I was done. My test was over. Overall, I thought the class was good. I thought it was a great class. The instructor was great. You know, I really enjoyed myself. You know, it was great to see a lot of people interested. I think it was like over 20 people in my class. You know, so overall, I had a great experience. You know, like I said, they basically taught you how the laws. They gave us some new information I particularly didn't. You know, we had some overall good debate. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it would get a little bit too far, but it was tough conversations that I felt like needed to be had. It was some good information, you know, and I think, and overall, it was just establishing safety. You know, what all of us already practice, but if you don't know, that's like the number one thing when dealing with firearms: safety. Once again, I just want to shout out Next Level Martial Arts, who hosted, and 5 Elements Tactical, he was a gentleman who taught the class, you know. So I thought it was a great class overall. So any questions, comments, if you feel like I left out any information, you want to know anything, just hit me up in the comments. Anybody who know, I'll be responding to all comments. Hit me up. Shout out to all the new subscribers, all the old subscribers. Appreciate you guys.
You from the trenches, you living, you winning. You wake up and go and get it, you winning. You trying to double your digits, you winning. You put hot sauce on your chicken, you winning. You winning.